Watch this.
A new analysis shows Idaho's doctor shortage is costing more than patients and travel time. We'll show you the real dollar impact and why lawmakers will have it right front and center for the next legislative session. Boise State football Broncos set to take on the University of Washington Huskies tomorrow in the gronked up LA Bowl. Our sports team is in Pasadena with what we can expect for tomorrow's high-stakes matchup. About 18 years ago, a simple question in our newsroom turned into one of the biggest charity drives in Idaho, all thanks to you. We're looking back at the moment 7 Cares went from an idea to a movement that fed thousands.
We have lost doctors because of the abortion laws, total abortion ban law. Really, it comes down to that criminalization of the physician-patient relationship. Doctors, my colleagues, myself, are ethically committed to serve that patient in front of us, have shared decision-making, and have a discussion of risks, benefits, limitations. That's what we do, and that's what our expectation is.
That's Dr. Frank Johnson, Chief Medical Officer for St. Luke's Health System. We spoke to him for that soundbite in 2023. He was responding to my question about the impact of Idaho's total abortion ban. That went into effect in 2022, was later clarified in 2023. And no matter your political or personal view on the topic, there has been an impact on Idaho, specifically the medical field, but cascading effects as well. And with some time behind us now since that decision, there's real data on the question that was debated as a hypothetical as the laws changed. As Dr. Johnson said and explained to us in detail in 2023, Idaho physicians started leaving Idaho. And a brand new report commissioned by the Idaho Medical Association and the Idaho Coalition for Safe Healthcare Foundation finds that Idaho's doctor shortage cost the state of Idaho $125 million annually. And that is directly tied to the 94 obstetricians that have left the state to seek work elsewhere. It complicates the state of medical resources as Idaho continues to grow, but Idaho ranks 50th out of the 51 states in the counted union in physicians per capita, with only 227 doctors per 100,000 people. Idaho is in the midst of a financial debate. Projections leading into the legislative session are raising questions about the budget and how many dollars should be spent and where. And the reports here that we're talking about, it has math on the financial impact, and it goes as follows. The report finds that each physician contributes an average of $1.34 million a year to Idaho's economy. 94 obstetricians leaving Idaho over the last 2.5 years adds up to that $125 million loss. Those 94, by the way, account for about 1 in 3 obstetricians across the state. And we have found that rural communities seem to be seeing the greatest impact. Idahoans could weigh in soon on the broader issue of Idaho's abortion laws, and this could happen in about a year. Idahoans United for Women and Families is circulating a voter initiative that they say simply would restore the legal standard that Idahoans lived with for more than 50 years, allowing what they say is medical decisions to be made privately between patients and doctors, and long story short, just undoing the recent laws. To get on the November 2026 ballot, the idea needs a little more than 70,000 signatures. We checked in about 3 weeks ago, and organizers had about 50,000 signatures at that time. The report, by the way, is also a great view into the impact that healthcare has in Idaho and why there is such a push to develop more and more doctors across many disciplines here in the Gem State. Idaho's healthcare sector contributed approximately $10.4 billion directly to the state economy in 2024. The direct contribution of physician services in 2024 was 14,605 jobs, $1.5 billion in total compensation, and $1.75 billion in gross state product. They also added $2.3 billion in total output as well. By the way, total state and local taxes that are generated per physician, $46,432. As doctors leave, so do their tax dollars. And the healthcare conversation at the legislature this session, it'll take center stage. A lot of questions about the moving target of Medicaid and rising costs across the board. A standoff standoff in Boise last night ended with the suspect taken into custody. Meanwhile, a guest nobody had on the reservation list was found in a hotel in Boise. Derek Kakay has today's 411 from around the 208.
A Boise man is in jail after a violent incident and hours-long standoff last night. The Idaho County Sheriff's Office says 35-year-old Christian Wood attacked a victim, fired a gun inside a home, and later refused to come out when deputies arrived. SWAT and crisis negotiators were called in. Wood eventually went out a window and tried to run away armed with an AR-15 and a handgun. Deputies took him into custody. He's now in the Idaho County Jail on multiple felony charges and being held on a $500,000 bond. The Idaho Humane Society says a ball python turned up inside a room at the Hyatt in Boise. Hotel staff called animal control, who scooped up the snake and brought it back to the shelter. They're not sure how long it was there or who it belongs to, but they do want to get it home. So if you're missing a ball python, or you know someone who is, you can head to the Humane Society and claim it, as long as you can prove it's yours. Boise Mayor Lauren McLean is proposing another $6.7 million to boost affordable housing in the City of Trees. The city says the housing fund created in 2021 has helped fill critical funding gaps in projects like Wilson Station, the Franklin, and the newly opened Denton Apartments. So far, the city has opened nearly 600 new affordable homes, with 300 more under construction. McLean says the new funding would bring the city's total investment to $68.4 million. City Council will consider the proposal Tuesday, December 16th. The second wave of artists coming to Treefoot were announced yesterday. That includes The Beaches, Mother Mother, Duckworth, and a lot more. To see the full list, just head to this story on our website, ktvb.com. That's the 411 around the 208. I'm Derek Kakay.
All right, viewer question time. And earlier this week, we ran a story about unclaimed property here in Idaho, and we explained how the Idaho State Treasurer's Office, they hold on to a lot of money that isn't theirs because, well, Idahoans that it does belong to, they've lost track of it, but they are ready to get it back to you. And the office has a special website, very simple, yourmoney.idaho.gov. And you can go in there, you type in your name, and you can see if you're owed any unclaimed property, money. Well, that story prompted a great question from Michael and Emmett, asking, why doesn't the state just send the money they owe to the people that they owe it to? Too simple. Well, it's a great question. So we spoke with the Treasurer's Office and specifically the guy in charge of the Unclaimed Property Division. And essentially, this is a security thing. They don't want to just send money back unsolicited. They want to make sure that the unclaimed property, it needs to be claimed and then sent to the right person. They can't just be sending it back, like tax returns. So the best way to do this is to ask people for a little more information before it's sent out. So you go to that website, you'll type in your name, and then they'll ask you for things like your name, your address, and then there's like a unique identifier. There's a few different options, a tax ID number, a social security number. They can cross-reference that, and you also check a box saying that, yes, this is really me. And again, they do this just to make sure the money gets to the person it belongs to. It's a great question. Wanted to add, by the way, it's not like a direct deposit thing either. They send you a check in the mail, and guess what? I got my confirmation email. My $1.54 is on the way. Maybe I'll bring the check in for a little fun. In a little more than 24 hours, the Boise State football Broncos will take the field against the University of Washington Huskies. It's the 2025 LA Bowl, the bucked up LA Bowl hosted by Gronk. If the Broncos are able to win, it would be the first time that they had a victory over a Big Ten conference opponent. And our sports team is on scene, getting ready for the game at SoFi Stadium. That's in Pasadena. Good evening, Jordan and Austin. What's going on down there?
Good evening. The temperature's dropped about 10 degrees.
All right, well, a technical difficulty, that is the beauty of live television. I'm going to listen to the producer if they can get them back up. But I wanted to mention that what we did learn in terms of some of the news and notes earlier from Jordan and Austin, includes that Blitz is going to be there. I believe we are going back out to LA. Look at this. We're back, boys. How's it going?
Are we back? Okay. For how high-tech this stadium is, a lot of dead spots, I'll say.
Yeah, the roof is covered, so we have a little bit of problems with spotty service, but this is SoFi Stadium. This is the pinnacle of the NFL. When you start playing football as a kid, you want to play right here. I mean, there was that went to overtime. The Rams and the Lions play on Sunday. So this is the spot where you want to be if you're a player growing up.
And one of the Boise State players who's been chasing that dream, Cage Casey, announced he is going to pursue that dream, and he is opting out of the LA Bowl. He won't be playing tomorrow night.
Yeah, Cage Casey, offensive lineman, starting left tackle for Boise State, the best offensive lineman, arguably the best player on the football team. Going to shift his focus to now the NFL draft. Obviously does not want to get any injuries in this football game. He is projected to be a first or second NFL overall draft pick. So understandably, I get it why he chooses not to play in this football game.
You want to be 100% for the combine. You don't want to risk an injury.
Right.
And he's given so much to the program. I think we can let him have this one.
Yeah, he's good. Cage, you're good.
Well, some other good news here for Boise State. One of the best parts of bowl season is the philanthropies that these teams partake in. And Boise State, they gave back to some of the kids who had been impacted by wildfires.
Yeah, California wildfires are such a big-time problem. Every single season they come around, and over 500 kids were affected by a wildfire last year. And they got the opportunity to receive shoes from a company called Shoes That Fit, partnered up with East West Bank. They had the opportunity to fill these kids' closets with an extra pair of shoes, kids that have lost their homes in this wildfire, and they're at a different located school because of the severe wildfires.
This kind of event, it's not just that the kids are getting shoes, the kids feel important, feel like somebody's looking at them, feel like somebody's saying, hey, we care about you, and we care about you getting this pair of shoes, meeting these players, and doing these little items. And it's a bigger deal than people think, just having a shoe and like, oh, I don't have to pay for shoes anymore. No, it's like a thing where the kids feel important. That part is priceless.
Do you want to get a ball?
Being seen by these players. These are the kids who gather around the TV. They watch these guys. They're larger than life to these kids. And to see them giving back to the community and just hanging out with the kids for a little bit, that was a really special thing to be a part of today.
Yeah, it was an incredible seeing, and this is what it's all about. It's bigger than football. You have to be able to give back to the community, especially ones that are more affected than a lot of people around, especially with the California wildfires. So such a great time for Boise State and the Washington football players giving back.
Yeah. So, Joe, we're working on our 10. How are things back there in Boise?
Things are great. The weather's actually pretty similar to what you guys are facing right now. I will say the cell phone reception is a little clearer here at home base. Also, real quickly before I let you go, we understand Gronk and Blitz will have a rematch. Is that at halftime? When will this be?
Oh, I don't know when it's going to be. It is happening. Gronk did confirm in the pregame presser here. He said, we're going to get a rematch here. He said he might let Blitz win, though.
Yeah, it's his final race. Blitz has got to go out on top. He said he's not going to have the treats in the pocket to be cheating. He's going to actually let Blitz win, so you have to tune in.
All right, gentlemen, we'll talk to you again soon. Thank you so much. And the sports team will have a live edition of the Bronco Roundup Game Day Show from the field in LA. You can catch that at 5 o'clock right here on News Channel 7 and on KTVB+. We'll lead you up to kickoff time, which is 6 p.m. Now, if you missed it, there is still no deal on Capitol Hill for an extension of the ACA or an alternative plan. So healthcare, a big question. And Idahoans, they're facing a major choice with their healthcare. I spoke with Your Health Idaho for this week's Viewpoint program about the major deadline, Monday at midnight, for Idahoans to enroll in health insurance on the state exchange. The process is easy to follow, they say, pretty quick, and there is help.
Real-time eligibility is one of the biggest changes that we've made. When you fill out the application, and it's a traditional type financial application, where you live and income and that sort of thing, you get an answer in seconds of what your tax credit is, and then you can move forward and shop. One of the other tools we put out this year, which is really helpful for consumers, imagine your viewers might be saying, gosh, 158 plans, that's a lot.
Yeah.
How do I make a decision? We have real-time scheduling on our website. So you can schedule time with an agent or broker, and it will show you their availability in real time. You can schedule it and get help. Those agents are licensed by the state of Idaho. and certified by Your Health Idaho. And what that means is they're experts, not just in our application and our plans, but also they're someone you can trust. Those community experts, the people you see at the coffee shops and restaurants, right? People you trust. And they're absolutely free to use, and they're experts. So expert help, no cost, pretty good combination.
Join us here at 9 a.m. on News Channel 7 this Sunday for everything you need to know right before that major deadline. Well, we are just a day away from 7 Cares Idaho Shares. From 8 until 11 tomorrow morning, we will be broadcasting live from across the Treasure and Magic Valleys. And we're hoping to see you, the people of Idaho, drop off food and donations. We'll be there doing the same thing. And we're raising money, of course, and all kinds of things for 9 different nonprofits. And we cannot do it without you, the amazing community. But how did this whole thing get started? In today's 208 Redial, Andrew Bartline talks with Doug Armstrong, retired general manager of KTVB, about the vision he had in 2008.
Back in 2008, then KTVB general manager Doug Armstrong, he questioned how media companies give back to the community.
They'll typically, large number of different charities, but they'll only help them a small amount. And we call that going an inch deep and a mile wide. We went to the charities and we said, we want to reinvent this.
Armstrong and staff picked 10 nonprofits from Twin Falls to Canyon County, and he offered this proposal.
We want to stick with you 10 charities for a decade. And we want to really dig deep on homelessness, food insecurity.
It was right when Tyson Foods was making a national effort to donate food in major American cities. Doug lured them to Boise, where they would anchor a new event.
We told Tyson that we were going to make a commitment to put this live on television without commercials, and that we were going to invite the public to come and to donate and to match Tyson's donation in the community.
And boy, did the community come out to support.
I remember in the early years, we were at the studio.
Karen Vaughk is the Idaho Food Bank CEO.
And setups for the cars to come through and the gathering of the food and the line of cars down Fairview that was just each year was longer and longer.
We had traffic jams in front of the television station. And so eventually we moved it down to Boise State University because we just had so many people desiring to come and donate and to help out.
Your community support blossomed 7 Cares into what we know today and allows nonprofit partners to provide the service our community needs.
We put it in our budget every year that this is part of an income stream that will be coming to us in the springtime that we know that we can maximize and put either the food bank or the booth program for young parents whatever the greatest need at the time might be.
It's very much a significant help and benefit to our bottom line.
We're simply helping the charities that help the people on the front lines. And that's what we can do best because we're a media company.
So there you have it. Join us for this year's 7 Cares Idaho Shares event. That is tomorrow. We'll be live at several locations across the Treasure and Magic Valleys, 8 to 11 a.m. We'll see you there. These are the locations you can find us at. Come join the party. It'll be a lot of fun. If you'd like more information or if you're interested in donating now from the comfort of your home, you can text 7 Cares, all one word, to the number on your screen. 208-321-5614 will get you a link directly to your phone with all the details.
Another beautiful day in Boise and the Treasure Valley today. Still 54 degrees right now outside as the sun is going down. The rest of this evening will be very pleasant as well if you have plans to go out and about on your Friday night. Now, we do have this air stagnation advisory that is now in effect for south central Idaho, Treasure Valley, west central mountains, and a large area in eastern Oregon. This is going to last through Monday, and as this inversion sets up over the next couple of days, our air is going to become very stagnant, especially in the valleys. Now, as inversions progress in time, the worse they get, the worse the air quality gets. So we're expecting light winds this weekend, so low amounts of mixing in our atmosphere, pollutants, exhaust from cars can all settle into the valleys and lower our air quality. You can check airnow.gov or deq.idaho.gov this weekend to continue checking those air quality conditions. Now, for 7 Cares Idaho Shares tomorrow, conditions should be pretty good but in the morning, but by the afternoon, that's when conditions may start to get a little bit hazier in Boise. So check on the weather conditions, check the air quality. Monday, when the rain comes back and starts mixing up our atmosphere again, it should hopefully clear out that inversion, and then rain sticks around for the rest of the work week.
All right, got a good amount of comments, so let's see if we can get through a few real quickly. OBGYNs have left Idaho, but doctors with other specialties have left, like spouses of OBGYNs and others who feel Idaho is not a supportive place to practice. PJ wants to know if we have statistics on how many doctors in total have left. The report I referenced earlier did not cover that. It just covered that one field, and I did a little bit of research here quickly in the commercial breaks, and I couldn't find anything, PJ. So I'll continue to look because it's a good point and it's a good question. The short answer is we will get back to that. This person with a perspective saying, Joe, St. Luke's is in the abortion business and murdering babies is not health care. We have a moral crisis that is driving a health care crisis. A perspective from an Idahoan there. A different perspective here. This person says our legislature is more interested in taking away our rights and giving private schools welfare than fixing the mess created by abortion issues. And this person wants to know, Tree Fort, it's in March in Boise. We'll get more details as we get closer. Have a great weekend.
Continue with us and watch free now on the KTVB Plus app everywhere you stream.